Hey guys, how's it going? So today I decided to talk about a buck that a lot of people have requested, and I know a lot of people enjoy looking at. I mean, he is a cool looking buck, but I named him the DC buck, the double cheater buck, and obvious reasons as to why. But I've also named him the miracle buck due to the fact that when I shot him October 4th of 2016, my cousin, family friend, whatever you want to call it, she was in a car wreck and she ended up passing away that day. So on October 3rd, it was snowing so bad I didn't do much hunting from the night of opening day until actually when I killed this buck. So the second and third, I kind of just, you know, drove around and glassed off of high points and, not serious hunting. So the third, when I got that call, I ran back into town to call my family because I had heard that she had gotten in a wreck, and I asked my mom to keep me posted, and I said about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I can't remember what time it was, I'll go back to town and I'll get a hold of her, and I did. And so worst come to worst, and it just didn't turn out good. So anyway, back to the story. So I didn't feel like getting up and going and doing anything on the morning of the 4th. I just didn't feel the need. Honestly, I was alone, and I mean I had my dog Bane, and I just didn't have that drive that I usually did to get out and to go look for deer or to do anything such as that. So I decided finally around, I believe it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, Bane wanted to go and do something. He was bored of sitting in the camper, and that's all I planned on doing all day pretty much. Like I said, I had no drive, guys, and so Bane and I loaded all the hunting stuff up, got dressed, threw everything in the truck, and went for a drive, and we were just glassing and driving, and I spotted a herd of deer a ways off, way up this canyon. And when I was glassing, I could just see horns, some antlers, nice rack moving on the skyline. I said, all right, that's the best buck I've seen. I'm pretty sure this winter's been moving them bigger deer around, because when that snow starts falling, them bigger mature mule deer will get pushed around, or so they say. But so I left Bane down at the truck, cracked the window for him, all that good stuff, and I took off running. Well, I didn't take my pack. All I had was my 270 Mossberg, which is this. This is what I was able to harvest him with. I've harvested many animals with this gun. Has a Redfield Revenge Hunter on it. I absolutely love this scope, love this rifle. Anyone that buys Mossberg, I guarantee they'll be happy, because I absolutely love this rifle. I mean, it's been such a good gun for me. I've killed elk, I've killed deer. One of the deer I'll tell you about is nicknamed Long Shot. He's just a 3x2 with eye guards I shot. Not a big deer, but I'll get to that story eventually. So, but anyhow, so I left everything at the truck except for my rifle and my shooting sticks, which my dad made me when I was first able to hunt. He made me my shooting sticks just like his. Mine are a little wobbly, but it's all right. So, anyway, goodness, school bus outside. But anyway, so I took off running up there, thinking, well, he was kind of moving down the ridge, so I figured, well, I only got maybe 20 minutes to even catch a glimpse of him and see where he's going. So I took off up the mountain, went all the way up that canyon, and I poked my head up a little bit. I was trying to stay crouched down moving, and I poked my head up and I could see some does and fawns. So I decided I should get up to this knoll. There was a little well, not really a knoll. It was just kind of a rolling part of the hill, and then it went back, started back up the canyon, almost right to the top of the canyon actually. And then there's this big mound at the top where they were right below. So I snuck up to that little rolling hill, and I kind of crawled up and I poked my head up, and I threw up my rifle as fast as I could on my shooting sticks, and then I figured that buck would have been standing there with those does because I knew he was with some does and fawns and nothing. So I put my rifle down on my shooting stick still. I just set it down and I start glassing with my vortex binoculars, and I don't see that buck. And mind you guys, I was only 140 yards from these deer, maybe 100 yards even. I can't remember the exact yardage right now. I believe it was 100. And so I just put my binoculars down off of me, or off of glassing off of them. Goodness. And I just sat there and I was like, well, he must have busted out. So I grabbed my rifle, down on the handle, and I grabbed my shooting sticks, got ready to stand up. And right as soon as I grabbed like that, the whole sagebrush came alive in front of me, guys. I mean, there was doe, fawn, deer everywhere. I mean, that was probably a good 30, 40 head of deer. I've never seen it in my life like that, and I'm not even joking or exaggerating with you guys. And then I thought, whoa, God, I need to get ready. He's somewhere in here. And I'm looking doe, fawn everywhere. And I was like, where is this buck at? And then I see a buck stand up, and there's a little 2-point. I was like, well, that's not him. And then I see he stood up like that. You know how they stand up? And then he looked at me just like this. And I remember he was facing, so he'd be facing like this, so his body's coming this way from me. And I remember that I looked at him and I said, wow, it looks pretty wide, so he's got to be, a decent buck. So I clicked off safety and I centered in on him and shot. And I remember it wasn't my rifle. The way that this scope is set up, I have to sight it in for 200 yards due to the range finding system and all that sort of deal. So I forgot to aim a little low and ended up shooting him up in the back a little more. Shot him a little high, and he took off running, and he only ran about 50 yards, and he stopped and looked at me again. And that's why I call him the miracle buck, because I was 100% sure that deer was gone out of my life, because I hit up in the the no-kill zone, dead man's land, whatever you guys call it. There's that gap between the spine and the vitals, and if you hit that, there's no chance of you killing that animal. I mean, there's a chance of it dying eventually due to infection or whatever, but it's non-lethal of a kill shot. That's why they call it no man's land, dead man's land, whatever they call it. And I remember he stopped, and he stopped for a second, and then he turned back towards me, and that's when I centered in and I let him have it, and I dropped him and got up towards him, and he was still trying to fight and get up, and then he ran out of fight finally. And I ran back down to the truck, grabbed my pack, all that good stuff, and went back up and got him all taken care of. And I packed him out all one trip by myself. And this is him. This is the double cheater buck, due to those reasons right there. He's I believe when I scored him out, he scored 141 or 142, one of those two. I know he doesn't look like he can score that, but he's a decent buck. But anyway, I think he's 28 wide at the tips of his cheaters, and then I think he's 25 wide just off of his beams normal, So he does have 6 scoreable points on each side. He's got one here, one here. He has this one that does measure an inch. I know that does not look like it. This one, this one, this one. So he's got 3 up front. Oh, wait. Does he have 4 on this side? Okay, one of these two doesn't measure an inch. I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be I don't know. Anyway, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's correct. So it is all measurable. I don't. Yeah, don't ask me. And then he's got these 3 back here. He's got his crab claw, that crab claw, and then that extra point coming off of the bottom. Which I'm the one that scored him. So, and I'm not 100% familiar with how to score non-typical, and I was not sure with this which one the main beam would be. I know that sounds like a stupid thing, but I really just I didn't know which one was which. So, but yeah, that's him, guys. So this is the double cheater buck, or the miracle buck, whatever you want to call him. But he's definitely my biggest mule deer. Really cool deer. I mean, he's not a giant. I know that there's a lot of people that say I should have let him grow and you know, all that stuff. But I think that Macy would have really liked this deer because she had a tattoo and then everyone got stickers made. But that buck that she got had tattooed on her almost identical to this deer, and that's why I shot that deer that day. Yeah, I shot him because he was a good mature mule deer that I'd been looking for. And opening day, I was really discouraged because I had been scouting for about a week. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, guys, but I mean, I went up there a week prior and I was doing all my scouting and I had found numerous shooter bucks. And there was, God, it makes me sick to think about. There was probably 20 people in that vicinity hunting those different deer opening morning, and I put in all that work, all that time, all that effort, and I know that public land belongs to everyone, but I mean, God, some people just have no boundaries, and that's what upsets me the most. I think is that they just didn't have their boundaries, and they were so close to me when I was hunting, and it made me uncomfortable. But anyhow, that's what you get with public land, you know, like I said, and unless you're packing way back where no one even knows, then that's what you're gonna get. But so anyway, that's the story on the double cheater buck. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed telling that story, just because it's such a cool, heartfelt story for me, and he's a cool buck. I mean, he's a cool deer. So, but that's gonna do it for this one, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. If you do subscribe, hit the notification bell that's located next to the subscribe button. And thank you guys so much for watching and all your support. It means a lot. And without you guys, I couldn't be doing this. I mean, I truly would not have the motivation that I have if it weren't for you guys. And I mean, you know, whatever you guys want to see next, whether it be the Dreamer Bull or any deer, any antelope you guys see on my Instagram page, Facebook page, whatever. I mean, if you guys want me to talk about all the rifles I have, I can do that as well. Anything. So let me know down in the comments below, or send me a DM on Instagram, Facebook message, whatever you guys want. But that'll do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.